It's been underwater for 6 months. No air, no surface, no breath. Just the cold, dark stillness at the bottom of a frozen pond, and this animal, sitting there, completely alive. Not hibernating, not holding its breath, breathing through its skin. This animal breathes without lungs, and it shouldn't work. Meet the hellbender salamander. Flat, wrinkled, and wide as your forearm. Most people who stumble across one in an Appalachian river think it's something prehistoric, something that crawled out of a time that no longer exists. They're not entirely wrong. The hellbender has been on this planet for 160 million years. It watched the dinosaurs rise. It watched them fall. And in all that time, it never evolved lungs, not fully. Not the way you and I need them. Instead, it does something that, by every rule of biology, should not be enough to keep something alive. It breathes through its skin. Every single breath. Every single day. For its entire life. And today, I need to show you exactly how, and why what's happening to this animal right now should terrify all of us. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, cold rivers carve through ancient rock. The water here is fast, clear, and brutally oxygen-rich, and that matters more than anything else in this story. The hellbender lives wedged beneath flat boulders at the bottom. It doesn't come up for air. It barely moves. From the outside, it looks like something dead and forgotten. But look closer at those folds of loose, ruffled skin running down its sides. That's not a flaw in its design. That's its entire respiratory system. Those folds, called lateral folds, dramatically increase the surface area of the skin in contact with water. As oxygen-rich water flows across them, oxygen passes directly through the skin membrane and straight into the bloodstream. No lungs required. No breathing motion. Just chemistry and cold moving water. It is, in essence, a living gill, one that evolution decided to wear on the outside. But here's where the story cracks open. That system, perfect for 160 million years, only works if the water stays cold, and clean, and fast. Because warm water holds less oxygen. Cloudy water carries sediment that suffocates the skin. Slow water stops delivering the flow this animal's entire body depends on. And across Appalachia right now, the rivers are warming. Hellbender populations have collapsed by over 70% in some regions in the last 30 years alone. Animals that survived mass extinctions, ice ages, and the death of the dinosaurs, are being undone in a single human lifetime. Not by a predator. Not by a disease. By warm water. Think about that. An animal so precisely engineered that a few degrees of temperature change, the difference between a cold stream and a slightly warmer one, is enough to erase it from existence. But wait, because here's the part nobody talks about. Scientists studying hellbenders recently discovered something that forced them to completely rethink what this animal is doing underground. The hellbender doesn't just breathe through its skin. It actively manages its own oxygen intake by doing something extraordinary. It rocks its body. Slowly. Rhythmically. Back and forth against the current at the bottom of the river. Not to move. Not to feed. Purely to increase the flow of water across its skin, the way you'd fan yourself in the heat. It is consciously controlling its own breathing. Without lungs. Without breath. Just motion in skin and cold mountain water. For a moment, think about what that means. This animal, with a brain smaller than your thumbnail, figured out how to breathe in a way that took humans centuries of science to even understand. It didn't evolve lungs because it didn't need to. It evolved something better. The hellbender is what biologists call an indicator species. A living alarm system. When the rivers are healthy, it thrives quietly in the dark. When they're not, it vanishes. No warning. No noise. Just absence. Right now, conservation teams across Appalachia are raising hellbender eggs in captivity, carefully reintroducing juveniles into carefully selected river sections, cold, clean, fast-moving water that the adults need to breathe. And it's working. slowly, carefully. But the real lesson here isn't about this one animal. It's about what happens when we engineer a world that's 2 degrees warmer than the one life spent 160 million years learning to survive in. Some species will adapt. Some will move. And some, like the hellbender, are simply too perfectly designed for the world that used to exist. Somewhere right now, beneath a cold Appalachian river, a hellbender is rocking slowly in the dark, breathing through its skin, the same way its ancestors breathed when dinosaurs still ruled this earth. It has no lungs, no voice, no way to tell us it's disappearing. All it has is the cold, clean water we keep deciding isn't worth protecting. The wild doesn't ask for much. It just asks that we pay attention, before the silence it leaves behind is the only thing we have left to study. Please subscribe to Wildly Curious, new stories every week. And drop a comment. Did you know hellbenders existed before today?